This episode is supported by Little Saints. More than a non-alcoholic beverage, it's a mushroom-infused cocktail that elevates the soul. Use code TheMothers20 for 20% off at littlesaints.com. That's TheMothers20 for 20% off at littlesaints.com. Now, enjoy the episode. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Brown, co-host of The Mothers, where we talk to industry leaders and change makers who are also somehow raising the next generation. Please take a minute to subscribe and drop a 5-star review wherever you're listening, and follow us on Instagram at TheMothersPod. Today, we have a bit of a hometown hero episode. Jenny Rossman and I first met each other in high school on the soccer fields of Newton, Massachusetts. Jenny was a cool and capable junior on the varsity soccer team. I was not cool, but capable enough to join the team as a freshman. Jenny brought passion, drive, humor, and leadership to the group, which ultimately paid off with a state championship her senior year. As we all moved through high school and onto college soccer teams, Jenny and I were part of a small group of players that would put ourselves through our own version of hell, aka the preseason before the preseason, in the awful heavy heat of August in Boston. My soccer dad, Graham Shipley, the father of another player, Kate, led us through double sessions of fitness and technical drills that made actual preseason often look easy by comparison. Jenny wound up at Amherst College, and apart from our summer training sessions, I admired her from afar as she graduated and went from painting houses and not knowing what she wanted to do when she grew up, to growing up and doing big, serious things. After law school at Boston University, she became an attorney for victims of sexual abuse in Florida. Jenny is currently at Herman Law, but previously was the bureau chief of the Sex Crimes and Child Abuse Unit of the state attorney's office and served as an assistant state attorney in the sexual battery unit of the Miami-Dade state attorney's office. Here's my favorite stat, though. In her tenure as a sex crimes prosecutor, Jenny received a guilty verdict in every one of her trials, and all of those convictions were upheld on appeal. That means, in many cases, obtaining life sentences against perpetrators of child sexual abuse. Jenny's also married with 2 young kids, and you'll hear in our interview how she can possibly see some of the worst parts of society and still feel comfortable sending her kids on sleepovers, let alone having kids. Also in this conversation, you'll hear the powerful role her outrageously sarcastic father played in helping her find what she now refers to as her calling, what it was like to be pregnant in court, what she's learned about mothering from the children she's defended, how she let go of mom guilt, and why those hellish preseason sessions from years ago are what carry her through trial prep today. Also, quick flag for the Bostonians listening / anyone in greater America that was captivated by the trial. This interview took place in May when we were deep in the Karen Reed trial. So you'll hear us discuss that and how Jenny may have predicted the outcome. I think what I enjoyed most about this interview is that it reminded me of what persistence, hard work, and passion can do, and where I learned that lesson first, on the soccer field. So many athletes, particularly female athletes, finish their sports careers and struggle to find their way to what's next. But to me, Jenny found the best way to translate what made her great at soccer into a profession. And of course, she's excellent at it. Who wouldn't want to be defended by the person that led the team to run extra sprints, pulled the group together after a loss, analyzed game tape before there was game tape, and made sure that even those who didn't get playing time knew their contributions mattered? Because that's Jenny. So please enjoy our conversation with no regrets, leave it all in the field, but never forget to laugh and enjoy it, Jenny Rossman.
Laptop does this. It sounds like it's like taking flight. If I
totally,
turn it on.
yeah.
That really brought me back to like my prior laptops.
Yes,
of old. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, we made it. Okay.
Yay! All right. Well, that's it. See you later. That's a wrap.
We might have covered everything. Like just touched on it in a couple ways.
I should have been recording the whole time.
No,
but I did just start recording, so now we can start saying totally inappropriate things. By the way, cursing is allowed if not encouraged, so don't hold back.
I was told yesterday by my daughter that I could never be a school teacher because I curse all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, I tell the kids like, I fucking love you so much. That's how I express it. And they're like,
yes. I really latch on to the studies that suggest that using fuck is a sign of intelligence.
Totally.
And also a sign that you're like trying to break norms.
Wait, really?
Yes.
I love this.
So everyone should swear.
Yeah, and I just saw one about like if you're somebody who routinely runs late, it's because you're so optimistic. You think you have so much more time to accomplish things.
Who told you that?
That is also me. Like an Instagram meme, you know. My source of reliable.
I love this.
Really
I love
funny.
this. Jenny, I'm having like an out of body experience that this is happening. This is like this is the biggest gift of trying this podcast is
I
have an excuse to reach out to my favorite people and I actually get to ask them cool questions.
I mean, it feels like normal to just be talking like this.
Yes. Well, it's also hard. It's hard to get people, myself included, to like pick up the phone and catch up with someone. Or even like find time to meet. So
That's
this
like
is
stressful.
You need like a business rationale.
Definitely. Yeah.
But okay, so Rossman, I should try to call you Jenny.
I know. It's like, do I call you Sedge? Do I call you?
I know. Call me Sedge by all means.
Fucking Sedge.
Yeah, call me fucking Sedge. So Rossman and I played soccer. We went to high school together. Played soccer together. Rossman was my fearless leader in your. Were you a senior when I was a freshman? I don't even remember.
Oh my God.
You were forever the senior, whatever year.
2 years together? We only had one?
I guess it was. It feels like 2.
Does feel like 2.
Well, so I'm an 02. When did you graduate?
Yeah, when did you? It was 2 years.
It was 2 years. My freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, we had
like,
yes, we had our off-season training together. We were like the original Hard Knocks. I wish we could have gone back and been like recording that.
That's really funny. On TV.
Yes.
What better time?
Yes.
What better time?
But no, Rossman you've always been like, just as a human, someone that I've deeply admired and really respected and carried yourself with both integrity and like humility. And you made hard things fun and gave purpose to doing hard things. And I'm just really, I've watched you in a creepy way on the internet to see what you're doing in life. And it's been so amazing. And I have so many questions that I almost am scared to ask as to why.
I know.
But I know.
Do this,
but the other quick background too. So V was our very first nanny. She has many other identities, but V raised our oldest. And so I always say anything good about him is because of V. V ran away to LA, got into corporate life, but I couldn't detach myself. And so we've remained friends, soul sisters, whatever. And now she's back on the East Coast and has her own baby.
Yeah.
So we're doing like a multi-generational discussion of mothers. But the point is, in a way that like it's sort of hiding in plain sight. It's called The Mothers, but it's sort of with a slight tongue in cheek of like, we're actually finally talking about the people that are the mothers, as opposed to every discussion of mothers is actually about the kids. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Subtlety is not my thing. So the whole idea is like, let's talk to people that are doing incredible things, and surprise, turns out they're raising kids and have been raising kids. And how do these two things combine? And the few times that I see it all happening at once, I feel so relieved and finally feel somewhat seen and reflected back. But I also think the more that we can combine these stories and identities, like the more power we have from a policy perspective. Because I find a lot of policy, and you could tell me better, having actually sat in these spaces, but I feel like I say this with all due respect, but I feel like moms, mommies, even mothers are so easily dismissed in the world that we live in. And so there is some element of bringing some edge to what we do, which has always been there, but a little bit of like speaking the capitalist talk and being like, yeah, we're fucking mothers.
Yeah.
So deal with us. We demand things and we need things and we're carrying things. Anyway, as someone who demands fucking things, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here.
Okay. So we like to kick off with how you tell the story of your life thus far and how we get to the Jenny Rossman of today.
My story is literally, how did I get here? Who let me grow up? Who let me have this very real job? But at the same time, this is what I was meant to do. But yeah, I mean, the way you described me earlier, Sedge, was so meaningful because you don't look at yourself that way. And I literally just felt like I was just a goof forever. And even after college, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I painted houses in Boston and I coached soccer.
Know that. I love that.
Love that.
I saved up money. I went down to South America for like 8 months until I ran out of money in Brazil and Argentina.
Oh,
And then I came
God.
home. My dad is a lawyer, criminal
Yeah.
defense. My mom was a teacher. I kind of thought, oh, maybe I'll go into teaching and coaching. My mom very much like steered me away for where that industry was going. And my dad was like, yeah, if you're thinking about wanting to be a lawyer, like you should see if you can even sit in an office all day. So I got a job at the Attorney General's office in Boston. And actually, now amazing governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey, was my boss at one time when I was a paralegal.
Oh, no way.
So
She's a badass.
Yeah. But like I used to get like super antsy around 2:00 every day. Like, what am I still doing inside an office? Like, how can I do this? But like eventually I was like, I want to go to law school. And I started law school. And my dad was like, you're not going to be a great law student, but you are going to be a great attorney.
Aw.
Which was like so true.
Good job,
And
Dad.
so true. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Did you feel bad when he was like, you're not going to be a good student?
no,
Or-
I mean, that is a compliment from him.
Aw, love you too, Dad.
Yeah. No, but that's, I mean, it was like, you know, it was true.
Yeah.
He was even my professor in law school.
Oh, wow.
He ran the criminal clinic.
Wow.
That's like the only thing my brain computed in law school well
Yeah.
was being like basically a criminal trial attorney.
And did he give you straight A's because of that, or did he give you straight
So
C's
he was not
because of that?
responsible for grading me.
Okay.
He had like other professors handle like anything that required grade. But it was funny because like he wrote the test.
Mhm.
And like I remember it was like a take-home exam, like the first semester of this criminal clinic. And I finished it in 15 minutes and was just like, that was literally the easiest test I've ever taken. But like, and and it was like the one test that I did great on in law school. But I feel like it was just because like it was my dad's brain that wrote the test.
Oh, yeah.
It
I
just
love
was
that.
like coded to my brain.
Sure.
That's so
I thought you were
much.
going to say, and then I realized there was a backside. So I forgot.
It would be something I would do. Yeah,
I
so then
only
after,
answered the
yeah,
first
like-
question.
Yeah.
Wait.
But sorry. Okay. So your dad guided you through. You wound up at BU.
yeah. And then I met my now husband in law school, and he is a Central Floridian. He has like a slight Southern accent. We were great friends at first. We did like super silly things together.
Mhm.
And then I don't even know if I thought I was going to get married, but with him, I was like, oh, yeah. So he already had a job down in Orlando after graduation.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'll go be like a prosecutor or a public defender down there, and we'll stay for 2 years, and then we're moving back up to Boston, of course. Like Massachusetts was home.
Yeah.
And then, you make plans and then they change. And so then I became a prosecutor in Orlando, which was like a great place to start out because it was like being a big fish in a small sea. And I got so much trial experience under my belt because Florida is a crazy place to be a prosecutor. And I very quickly became interested in doing sex crimes and child abuse. It just like, I always loved working with kids and helping people. And so when I got into that unit, it was like, this is my calling. And I gave it my all the same way,
Yeah.
So
it is actually, as you described, I hadn't thought about it, but it is a little bit of the merging of both of your parents.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's interesting. Good for you.
And my grandparents when they retired, they were guardians ad litem for foster kids in Miami. And so I like grew up with that. So I always think about that is like, did that drive me to want to help this population?
Wow.
Yeah. So then, then he stopped being a lawyer. He went and got a PhD at University of Miami. So we lived in Miami for a few years where I also was a prosecutor, which is like unheard of to like jump between. You're done being a prosecutor at one office. You're usually going into the private sector.
Okay.
But I was a prosecutor in Miami, which was incredible experience. And just what we were talking about before, but like seeing because at that point I was married, I had my daughter while I was a prosecutor in Miami, but I had like role models within my, it was called the sexual battery unit, like what a blunt name for what we did. But, there were, like other women in the unit who had kids. And so it was like we were a crew. It was really a special time.
Incredible. Yeah.
And then we moved back to Orlando because I got offered the job to be the head of the sex crimes and child abuse unit at the state attorney's DA's office here. And I did that for a number of years. And and then I had my second child during that time.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I was done. I was ready to be done. And I the most amazing door opened with the firm that I'm with now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there a through line for you as you look back?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was very like driven to do something meaningful. Like if it wasn't going to, I joke that like being a prosecutor was a hobby because you got paid nothing. And I truly felt just like there was no better feeling than doing a trial and having a child victim testify, be so courageous, a jury believe them, a conviction, they are safe, the community is safe. Like it was a high. It was just the greatest job. And I think, just wanting to make a difference and constantly wanting to be challenged. I think those would be my through lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you glossed over some of the more important parts of your background, which is your soccer history. You played soccer at Amherst. You were a captain. I was curious if do you draw on your sports background when you're like up being a litigating, like the things that you do feels horrifying to me. Like the way that you're up there in front of people when you're a litigator is like,
Such
it's
high
like
risk.
singles tennis with like, but a more important, higher stakes or something.
Yeah.
How do you, do you channel your athletic background or what do you do?
I mean, I feel like gearing up for a trial, like, is just the same as like preseason for soccer, for your sport. It's like the competitiveness, the focus, the drive, the endurance that's required. Like it is so physical to do like a week-long trial and you're like, you're in court. I mean, there are times where like, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I have 4 more witnesses. How am I going to do this until 5 o'clock? And it's like, you just trust yourself that you're going to do it and you're just going to pull it out. Like, I feel like I draw on it. It's like I say like, the judge is like the referee. I'm like, throwing an elbow. Like it's totally analogous. It's like the adult soccer field.
Yes. Good for you. It seems, I mean, my only exposure really is TV shows, and then V is trying to get me to pay attention to the Karen Reed trial. So I've occasionally been watching.
I'm obsessed with the Karen Reed trial.
Jenny, I have the trial on. Luckily today they're not having court. I don't know why, but they made an announcement this morning. But I've been watching it I'm like, I might be an attorney at this point. I
think they will. I don't see how you can get 12 people to agree one way or the other. I think it's going to be another mistrial. It'll be, another hung jury. They could try it. I think they could try it 5 times. It'll always be hung.
It's absolutely mind-blowing.
We've heard it here first, folks. That's really going to be the most viral thing about this whole episode.
Yeah, I think I have takes on it. I think they shouldn't be going for second-degree murder because when you overreach with a jury, you're losing trust for credibility. So I think that's a challenge that they should have nixed. And I mean, as a prosecutor, I think this is very challenging and there's reasonable doubt. I just don't see how they're going to get past.
Do you think she did it?
I mean, I think at most she accidentally backed into him and doesn't and did not recollect it. Truly has no knowledge of whether it happened. So
that's my latest take too, is that no one involved. I think nobody involved directly killed. Like I think in a certain way they're all telling the truth. Like none of them actually killed him, but a collection of activities resulted in him dying.
And I don't think like even if her car struck him, that didn't kill him.
Like yes.
I watched. There's like all of these like keyboard warriors. We're totally going off.
I know. Sorry,
but we could turn this into a Karen Reed podcast.
But there's this like TikTok lady who is totally just like in her basement having her Legally Blonde moment. Like she just is like
there's like this is a great opportunity for people.
And she has like. I'm like, you solved the case. I'm like, Alan Jackson needs to call you to trial. I was like, you know what happened? I watched like a 7-minute TikTok of her being like, and then this happened. And then this happened. I'm like, that's exactly what happened. Like it was all an accident.
But I'm sure that their team, I'm sure their team does like they have a big team and I'm sure that they watch stuff because look, like the average podcaster is just like a juror. It's like, you don't need what lawyers think about stuff. You need what people think. But the other reason for my intrigue is like anything that's like super Boston where I can like hear the accents, it brings me home.
Oh my God.
So it's like, that's just like, I love it. I love it.
Wild.
Yes.
Wild. Anyways.
Okay, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. I wanted to ask the harder, I don't know, deeper, sadder, harder, weird question. But you got into, what do we call it? Sex crimes? Sex abuse?
Like they're, I like sexual abuse of children.
Yeah.
I tend to use that for children, and with adult, I say
Yeah.
like sexual assault.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of physical abuse cases that I handle too.
How do you do that with kids? Or how did that
Yeah.
affect, how do you
No.
combine the two, and how do
Okay.
they
Yeah.
influence each other?
Right. So I just think like I was meant to do this in that, I can compartmentalize.
Mhm.
And I don't like it. Well, I've been doing it for so long at this point that but in the beginning, there were very challenging times, and there still are very challenging times. But for some people, when they have kids and they do this work, then they're like, I have to stop doing this work.
Mhm.
I didn't. I don't know if it's because I'm like a defective person or no, but I have learned so much from doing that work that has um, influenced how I mother,
Yeah.
and maybe not in ways that you would think. Like I see so much scary stuff, and I let my kids have sleepovers. I
Right.
don't, like because I have a whole, I don't know if it's like a theory, but I mean, there are always going to be sick people in the world, and that's never going to change. And so I just think that the way to prevent child sexual abuse is by empowering and educating children about it from a very early age. And so that's what I've done with my kids. Like there are studies that show that kids who know the correct anatomical names for their bodies, so when they call their vagina, their breasts, their penis,
Yeah.
their penis, that is just disarming to a potential perpetrator in the first place. Because like I would meet with kids who were abused, and they'd be like, oh, he touched my pocketbook, and so and if if somebody tries to perpetrate against a kid who says, that's my vagina, you can't touch my vagina, like
Yeah.
they're not going to go after that
Yeah.
kid. So sorry, this is like me on my
No, it's great.
soapbox,
No,
but
this is
so I think like I've just, I have talked to my kids about no one is allowed to touch your body, unless I'm cleaning you, or we're at the doctor's office, and our pediatrician always says the same thing. And like, and I also reiterate, and no one can tell you or ask you to touch their body. And I do check-ins with them to the point that they're like, oh my God, stop asking me. Like,
Yeah.
and I do a thing like my daughter's in Girl Scouts, and I've done since they were little. Like I think I started in first grade doing like a body safety class, and then I had one of my like ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children, FBI agent friends come and do a class on internet safety. And so I just feel like, yeah, it's always in the back of my head. And there are certain things that kind of set off like my spidey senses a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I've learned so much from like the kids that I've worked with. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I would imagine, does it also go the other way in that your experience as a mother somehow informs or maybe even empowers or deepens the work that you're doing professionally? Or do you keep them entirely separate?
No. I mean, I think, it's hard to say. I just feel like the kids that I worked with who were the victims of abuse, like helped me become a better mother. I don't know if like me being a mom made me, I'm sure it did. I just
maybe
don't
even
think that
like
that's conscious, but
your communication style though, or approach to them, like
yeah, I mean, I guess I understand, but my kids are older now, and by and large, the clients that I work with now are adults who are all abused as kids. And I mean, I think being a mom is a superpower in so many ways. But another like big takeaway that I have from like the victims of abuse that I worked with when I was a prosecutor is like just knowing how courageous and resilient kids are.
Yeah.
It like that is the most inspiring thing to me. It was like these were all like my heroes. And and then I think one of my takeaways with being a mom from that is like that kids can go through like serious horrible trauma, and they can, if they get therapy and love from a guiding family member, they can repair from it, and they can come out on the other end and like be okay.
Yeah.
And even if they don't get that therapy, some kids are still just like the same optimistic, bright, happy people. And that is such a lesson for me. And like, my kids are going to be fine. Like whether I do A or B, or whether this or that, in terms of like very benign decisions, they are going to be fine. And I always think about that. Like, this is none of this is going to be trauma one way or the other.
Did you absorb any of that from your parents at some point, of the inherent trust that you'll be fine, and a sort of an assumption that you're an independent operator and like the boundaries that you're holding seem really true to you?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I never thought about it before, Sarah. I never thought about that, but I think, I mean, definitely. I think especially, right, when you become a parent, when you become a mom, and then you realize that like you're the one who has to make the ultimate decisions. Like I still will go primarily like to my dad for advice and ask. And like there are times where he's like, no, this one's your decision. Like I can't, and it's like, yeah. I have learned like I know I will end up making the right decision, and I just have to trust my gut. And literally it's like I'll have a stomachache if I do something against it. Right. So
totally.
Yeah.
Another question I was curious about is that it's so like the nature of the work and the subject matter is so intense, but then also the requirements of the profession are also so significant. How have you kind of been able to finagle all sides of your life around that? If you're at trial, are you like away for a week?
Yeah.
And were there moments where you're like, I don't know if this is sustainable?
Okay. Yeah. So many things. Okay. So when I was a prosecutor still, which I 3 years ago joined my firm. So, if I was in trial then, it's so intense. And then I'd like come home and I'd have to get a kid from school in time or from daycare. And then like I'm in trial mode and I'm like so in that world. And then it's like they want attention from me. And it's like I could physically be present with them, but I was totally mentally absent. And like that's just how it was.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I like necessarily felt guilty about that, because it was like I was so in it. And then it would be like dinner, bedtime, and then just like stay up all night working, and then like rinse and repeat. And so, my job now requires tons of travel because I litigate in New York. So all of my cases are in New York. So I'm up in New York a lot.
Dang.
And it is actually a really nice thing when I'm in trial, because then I'm at a hotel and it's just like you are in work zone. Like, of course, I'll FaceTime with the kids, but it's nice to have the separation in that way. But it is, I mean, of course, it's hard to travel and leave your family and leave your kids. And it's a stress on the kids. It's a stress on my husband and the marriage and everything. But he's amazing. He's a professor. He has a very flexible schedule. It allows for us to operate in this way. But when I first used to be taking work trips, and I'd never done that and never left the kids, like 3 years ago when I started going to New York, like I would cry hysterically the whole day before I was leaving. Like I just felt that like homesick feeling.
Yeah.
And this was the advice that my dad would tell me. He would say 2 things. Jenny, pretend like you're going to jail and you'll get to do video visitation with them. So that was one piece of advice.
Oh, I feel better now. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. That's the type of advice I got. And then
Wait,
like
what was part 2?
part 2 was like, if I have like there have been times like where I've had really extended time away and I'm really upset about it. And then he'll be like, oh, no, the less time the kids are with you, the better. The less you can influence them, the better.
I actually, maybe not the less you can influence them, the better, but I really do believe in we overparent our kids. We're there too much, basically. And so the expectations are ridiculous. And in some ways, like the less that you're there, and especially I think in the heterosexual, whatever version of a marriage, like I think that for the mother to be out and busy is actually awesome. And it kind of allows them to, like, I resent this idea. I was going to ask you too, that the idea of like, quote, mom guilt is such it's almost like perpetuated because we keep using that term. And I'm like, is it actually guilt, or is it just
a thing? Or are you thinking
that we're sad and like we would like to be with them, but we can't. And so we're sad.
I love that spin on it.
Yeah.
Because I actually like got rid of it. I got rid of the idea of mom guilt.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is and I tell the kids and they know what I do and that I feel like it's a very important thing and it's what I'm good at and what I can offer to the world.
Yeah.
And my son now tells me like he doesn't even miss me when I'm gone.
How old are your kids now?
They're 5 and 8. Okay. So kindergarten and third.
So they were 2 and 6 when you started?
Yeah.
That's tough.
So that was like 2 and 5 was harder. I mean, I've exhausted every single gift that I can buy them from LaGuardia. like in the gift shop, to the point where like, you know, those little like stuffies that have the big eyes.
Oh, yes.
I had like brought a new round home, and my daughter was like, I have 3 of the sloths now. 3 of them.
You do? Who got you that? Not me.
I got all 3.
I bet your kids have a good sense of humor,
Yeah,
which I think
for
is
sure.
also a key tool to
Yeah.
give. That's a gift
Yeah.
because life is too serious, especially what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What was it like? Were you pregnant while litigating? Like, were you,
Yes.
what
I
was
can't
that like? How were you
imagine.
received? Was it
Well,
different?
first of all, like anytime there's like a pregnant attorney, the opposing counsel is just like, oh,
Fuck.
you already won. I know. I mean,
No way.
especially being pregnant doing child abuse cases, like it was
Yeah.
like,
They're like,
you
you know
know,
what? You can
to
have
the
this.
point where I was like, say to the jury and jury selection, I don't want anyone to have any sympathy for me. I feel great. Ignore the fact that I'm pregnant. That is not something you can consider in
Oh, wow.
determining the evidence of this case. But it was when I was pregnant with Remy, my older daughter. So I think, it was in 2016, I had a really intense trial in Miami, and I was I think I was like, I think I was like 7.5 or 8 months pregnant. Like I was big. It was like summertime. I think it was like June. She was born in August. It was hot out already. And I had this very intense, it was generational abuse. It was a grandfather. And the victims in the case were the granddaughters, but he had also abused his own daughter, their mother. And it was just super intense. And it's my only hung jury where they didn't agree on a verdict. I had 5 who, in Florida, you only have 6 generally. So 6 jurors, and I had 5 who went within 5 minutes, wanted to convict, and 1 juror who was like a bad apple, who was like, there's nothing you can say to me, you'll never change my mind. So
Wow.
so it hung. And I literally was like wanting to talk to the jurors after, and they had left, and I like was pregnant and like running in the parking lot to try to talk to them to find out what happened. And people were like, maybe don't be running like that. But I had like an appointment with my my doctor, and I asked her, and I was like, she knew what I did and everything, and I was like, my trial hung, I'm gonna have to retry it. I have to be the one to retry it. Like it's gonna be really close to the due date. Like, is that gonna be okay, like for me? And she was like, of course, you need to get this guy. Like you're trying this case.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just like totally dependent on how I felt. I think with I remember doing a trial, but like I think my trials had wound down with my second pregnancy, which was also like much less comfortable than the first one. So
that's so interesting about how you're received.
Yes.
Are there
Like
studies
a
and is
pity
there data
thing.
to point to that
don't
you're
know. I
less
think-
likely to? That's so interesting.
But don't you just feel like when you were pregnant, like people generally were so much nicer? They're like, oh, can I hold the
Yes.
door for you? And then
No,
it's like,
true.
if you're pushing the newborn in the stroller, people are literally like, get out of the way. I could care
No,
less
that's
about
so
your
true.
existence.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I just think it's like, like, oh, you're doing the thing and you're pregnant. Wow. Like, you know.
Have there ever been times where you're like, oh, what did it post having each kid? I personally had sort of like a feminist awakening, I feel like, with each kid. Did
I
you
just
have
had like
something
postpartum
like
depression and anxiety that got worse after each kid.
Yeah. Well, what did you? So how? Yeah.
She goes,
Definitely identify with that. Too.
Yeah, you know.
Did that experience change your feelings about working and what the nature of the work that you were doing, or was it actually helpful to be able to have something that was sort of, I don't know if what you would describe it as a light at the end of the tunnel, but something else that got you back to sort of what felt like you and home? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the latter. Yeah, like for me, like the postpartum, I had just like, I'd say postpartum anxiety after my daughter. And I kind of thought, oh, when I have my second, I'll know these changes, I'll understand it more. And then it was like ×2 plus the depression. And I really felt, man, I just felt so isolated during my second maternity leave. And it was like really hard. And then of course it's so hard to go back to work, but then like, oh God, like the gut horrible feeling you have before you go back. But I don't know. I think that it was it allowed me to feel like myself again.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
doing that. It was like, I don't know, the transition for me to motherhood was really challenging. Like, I don't think I had ever changed a diaper before my own kids were born.
Same. Yeah.
And so I felt so lost and like I was really bad at it. So then I think to have the thing that I knew how to do that I felt like I was good at was a really helpful thing. When they're babies and you're like physically not with them for the first time, it is like, I mean, I was just so distracted during the day. I'd have to stop and pump and all that. But then I was like so distracted. And then it was like the second I was leaving, I remember I would like drive to the to the JCC daycare and like want to like just be there and then soak up every minute with them. And like, it was like, I felt like someone was going to take them away, but it was like, no, I had to remind myself every day you're going to get this time with them every day forever. You know, you're not. So, yeah.
How was that received or supported at work? Could you be sort of a slightly a sadder version, more anxious version of you grappling with motherhood? Or was it like,
Is there
how were
space
you?
for that?
Yeah.
Not really,
like,
probably.
there's just not, in a prosecutor's office, there's not like a ton of space for that.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think like, again, for me, like to compartmentalize is a better coping mechanism and like to do my job, like, you know, but everyone was super supportive and nice, especially the law enforcement partners that I had. Like there would be sergeants who were moms, dads, like, you know, and so they were all like super supportive too. Like there was a time where my dad was babysitting Remy when she was a baby and he was going to meet me for lunch. And brought her into the office. And I had a meeting with like a sergeant and 2 women sex crimes detectives. And like Remy was crying and like they were all singing to her.
Oh,
so, I mean, I never felt like unsupported. And if I was in court and in a trial and I needed to like take a break to pump or whatever, like all of that stuff was like accommodated for me. But I also was like, I didn't really make a big deal about it either. Like I just was like, it's time to work. Kind of that sports mentality where it's like, it's just time to go to work.
Totally. And I was going to say, I felt, I don't know if it's sports, but maybe it very much is. Like, I similarly am a little bit of like, I mean, I love my kids a little bit. It's the out of sight, out of mind element is like essential for me. I was thinking when I went back to work after our oldest with V in charge, I was like, you know, especially the second times I wasn't as like sort of, I don't know, not weak, but I was like shaky about it the first time. And you get the courage, you're back in the office and I was like feeling good. And then one of my friends at work had framed a picture of Logan and handed it to me. And I just started bawling. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, I'm totally fine. But it is for me, I didn't even really have pictures of my kids at my desk at work because it didn't help me be better at work. It helped me feel distracted. I don't know. I mean, I'm always already like thinking they're in my body. Like I think about, it's like I don't need a picture to remember that I'm a mother.
Right.
But I find, I don't like the blurring of the two. That has been true
that's
even
how
through the pandemic. I've been like proven by the pandemic where I was like, when everything was on top of each other happening at the same time, I was the least happy. I mean, obviously for many reasons, the pandemic was hard, but the division is key.
Yeah. I mean, I think for some and for others, you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, right. For me, very much. I remember like joking during the pandemic being like, oh, see, I had kids in a world where they weren't home with me all day. Like, and now that is the world. Wait, I didn't, like, this is very different than, you know.
Yes. Totally. I was curious actually before postpartum you going back to work, did your dad have any choice wisdom?
Oh.
And if he didn't, I was just curious because I feel like it would be on point.
I think it was something like, you're not going to jail. Like you get to come home every day and see them. Like you're just going to work. Like, you're not
up. Just
you're
go.
not being taken away.
Yeah. Really funny.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I have this other question too about having it all. Is this something that's on your mind? Do you think about having it all and how you might define it all?
Yeah. I have a very defined idea about this, which is
good.
Like, at least for me, I cannot have it all at once. I can have it all, but not at the same time. And right when I came back from my second, there was a judge, Tanya Davis Wilson, love her. And she was, I think I was a supervisor at this point. So I think I was like meeting with her about kind of an issue, and she was a mom, and somehow we went into like mom mode talking and like mom work mode and the whole thing. And I was like just telling her how I felt. I probably felt like I was sucking as a mom at the time. And, and she just told me like, this is what I've learned. If you're an A+ at work, you're not going to be an A+ at home. You might be a C at home. You might be a B+ at home, and vice versa. When you're an A+ at home, you're probably going to be like a B+ at work. Like you cannot be an A+ at both at the same time. It's not possible. And that like unlocked something for me that I just like internalized. And then I was like, I don't know, I don't know if she's right. I don't know if it's accurate, but
like
I adopted it as like truth for me. And so then I just have always incorporated it. So then I'm like, if I'm killing it at work and things are going great and I've devoted all of this and I'm totally drained with the kids and I'm just like, all I can do right now is like lie on the couch and like whatever, then I just let myself I just don't feel the guilt for not being able to be an A at all times with everything.
Yeah. How have you applied that on the work side? Like, are there ways that you've, I don't know, said no to things or didn't take certain opportunities? Like, how are we,
No.
what are the sort of sacrifices kind of things, or are they not happening? Or do we not think about them as sacrifices? They're just choices in a context.
Yeah, I just, no, for work, I just am like, kind of bring it on.
Yeah.
But also like, just, if you need me to handle this case or do this thing, I'm going to do it. There have been times where it like crept up against a boundary. Like if it's too many work trips on top of each other and I know I have if I have another trial I need to prepare for, I should use my time for that and not for this other thing. But
I'm not built this way either. Where like, sure, what would it even feel like to go for the B at work as opposed to going for the A?
Yeah. Like
I would inherently feel like I'm like, why should I even show up? Like, I don't even know. But it seems like that's kind of how it has shown up for you too, where you're just like, there's no way to not be all in at work.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it is inherently who I am and how I'm built. And I can't, I've just like also learned, this is actually from becoming a mom. Like I've just learned that like people, like there are things about you that you can't change. And so you have to just figure out how to work with them. And so like, that is something about me. And then I wouldn't be happy. And I would then feel anxious if I was doing that it wouldn't be worth it to me. I wouldn't, then I would be with the kids and just feeling anxious about that thing at work. So it's like, that is not worth it for me.
Yeah.
So it's like inherent. And then it also like my clients are deserving of nothing more than my 100% as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is like the external motivation.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You really are in a way like a doc, like you're saving lives. Like it's harder to
I wouldn't go that
sacrifice.
far. I've seen
I mean, I think you're making
that.
it's different than like coming up with a new ad tech solution. You know what I mean?
There's like
Or
real life consequences and like things at stake.
Yeah. In that sense. Yeah.
One last question, then we'll go into some like closing little short answer. But did you have any role models in how you approached being an incredible lawyer, litigator, and having kids? Was there any like model for you as to how to do this in a way that felt good?
Gosh, I'm gonna feel bad if like I'm missing some big
No.
like litigator mom mentor. But I think actually it was kind of the that group of women attorneys that I was with in the unit in Miami, we all kind of had kids together at the same time. And so I think it was like this sisterhood of we would call our babies the prosecutees. But just like
oh my gosh,
really cute.
So and we've stayed close. The kids are kind of all around the same age, and I feel like just going through it together was a really helpful thing, like forging that and figuring it out.
Absolutely. That's incredible.
I know.
That's
it was wild.
huge.
It was really, really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
I actually do. I have a follow-up question to that. Like, was there a cognizant like choice to have kids and like start a family, or was this a like it just happened like in the same way you
Oh.
said like when you met your husband, you were like, I guess I'll get married. Like that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Mhm.
So then
Yeah.
was that the same with motherhood, or was this like a I'm ready to become a mom and take this step?
Yeah. Well, I would say it was definitely a choice.
Okay.
I always knew I wanted to have kids and be a
Yeah.
mom, but I did not feel ready.
Mhm.
But just with age, I was like, I should do this
Now or
sooner
never.
rather
Yeah.
than later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I just, even up until I was giving birth, was like, again, that through line of my life, like, how did I get here? Who let me grow up and do these things?
Totally.
Yeah.
I felt
Totally.
that like very deeply, and I was really scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really scared to
Yeah.
become a mom. But I knew it was something I wanted to do, but I wouldn't say I was ready. It was just like, probably should do it.
Yeah.
I imagine too, then choosing to do it. You said you struggled with postpartum anxiety and depression. Like choosing to then do that again is probably even more terrifying, knowing what to expect and knowing your work and what it expects of you. And like, you don't really have the luxury of like being able to like be depressed right now. Like,
Yeah, but I deluded myself into being like, it was just a product of me not knowing what to do the first time. That like the whole
Interesting.
pregnancy, I was convinced. And for the first 2 weeks, I had like postpartum elation. So like
Really?
I was sure I was gonna be like
Nailed it.
golden.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah,
Haha.
Yep.
Beat ya.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's good though. That maybe that's like a self-protection, like
Completely.
protection mechanism.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe in those
Huh.
deeply. Yeah.
Do you feel less scared now? Like if you were, excuse me, if you were scared
Yes.
going into it, the fear has gone away. You learned how to
Yes,
do it.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not like scared about my kids now. Like no. I mean, I think that's lucky. That they're healthy and,
Mhm.
there aren't major challenges with them, that, we have to tackle on the daily.
Yeah.
But, no, I always knew the older they got, the easier it would be for me. Like just from like coaching kids in soccer and like,
Yeah.
being around kids, like I knew that I could do that. But the baby
Baby
stuff
stage is
was
hard.
Oh
so
yeah.
hard for me.
Yeah.
Just
Totally. I remember our first doctor's appointment with our first kid, and Jason, my husband, was there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like Jason knows how to do this. Jason's the oldest of 6. He's like been changing diapers his whole
like
life.
my
And I was
husband,
like,
he's
I don't
oldest of 4.
know.
Yeah.
Aw.
I
Yep.
don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't know how to do. Yeah, I'd forgotten
Yeah.
that until you mentioned it. But yes, yeah. And then
Yep.
we learn.
Yeah.
I've also learned that I hate learning new things as much as
And
I
being-
want to. I hate not being able to do it right away. I don't
Yeah.
have any
Yeah,
space
that's
to
the-
not do it
yes.
right away.
You mean not being the best at it is really hard?
Ugh,
Why am I not
yes.
better than you? Why are you good at this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We could talk for so long, but I feel like we owe you have things to do.
No, just
we do these
just
like
the Karen Reed podcast I'm starting.
I know, it's true.
Let me in
that'll
on
be
that.
our like bonus episodes.
I'll be your guest attorney.
We'll charge for those ones.
Great.
Okay. So we do these little short answers at the end.
Okay.
But speak for as long as you feel inclined to.
It's short.
If you could go back and tell your new mom self one thing, what would it be?
Okay. It would be that it will get better.
Mhm.
You will find your community, because that was a really big thing, the loneliness that I felt. And
Yeah.
now I love my community of friends here and families. And also it would be to start taking Zoloft postpartum.
Me too, Jenny.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
anxious that it would have some, whatever the side effects are that can be negative. I didn't want that. I was breastfeeding. I was so psychotic about the breastfeeding to the detriment of my mental health, like so many women. And so I didn't start taking it when I should have. And it would have saved my mental health during that time. So yeah, that's a PSA that I will happily share.
That's amazing. Yeah. I feel like a lot have offered of the conversations we've been having. A lot of people have offered that on their own. And I'm guessing that many that haven't brought it up would say that they benefited from that as well. And I think that should be totally normalized.
Got to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, completely. I stood in my own way. That's what it is, V. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe this answered the next question, but we also like to think, if you look back, is there anything that would have made the experience of sort of the motherhood journey a little bit easier even if it's not supposed to be easy, but something that would have made it easier?
Well, I think because I was so, I don't have any family in Orlando.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah.
that it was hard to not have, like if I were in Newton or something where my parents' home base is, I think
Yeah.
just having more kind of family around. And also I didn't have my community of friends that I have now.
Right.
That came when the kids started, at the JCC and in their elementary school and like really having that. And so yeah, I think if I had just had like more of that community, whether it was from family or like the close friend I have now that I just didn't have at the time
Yeah.
here in Orlando, that would have been like just made me feel less alone through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Community came out with the episode that we just released recently is all about community. This woman who started various companies, but all kind of her role within them has been community building. And so useful reminder, she was like, community, obviously we all want and crave and expect and need, but we don't always realize that we actually have to like participate in it in order to have that
Reap the
experience.
benefits.
We need to go out and do the harder thing that may not feel good or natural or obvious or useful, but like eventually over time, that's where community comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I do feel like kids in some ways are the first, I don't know, an easy excuse to be connecting with other people.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Last question.
Okay.
Your kids may listen to this one day. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Yeah. I've thought about this one.
Yeah.
Just that I did my best.
Oh, yes.
That's really like, and I say that to them at times, like, I'm just doing my best,
Yes.
And I just hope that they would be able to look back and agree with me and know that, it wasn't always easy. I didn't always do it the right way, but I was doing my best for them. And I love them. Yeah. I fucking love them.
Fucking love you.
They literally
well
yell at me.
played,
They're like,
Rossman.
"Why do you have to swear when you express your love for
Love. Because it's so big, I simply can't say it without it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well, they're lucky.
they're so lucky.
Oh, you guys.
And your
I'm
best
glad you
is
had
really
them so we could
good.
have you on this podcast. So
That's
selfishly,
the through line. It was
thank
all
you for
to
the
bring me-
connection.
No, that was all to bring me to the podcast.
Exactly.
But just also that we could start the Karen Reed podcast. It's
Also,
all
yes, for
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I'm very excited for the Karen Reed podcast.
Sarah,
featuring
you gotta
Jenny Rossman.
Yeah. Dive deeper, baby. Get that scuba gear
The
because
world
we're
is
going
waiting.
great. You guys, this was so much fun.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much for
chatting.
coming and fighting through tech things and
that was-
being resilient.
Nevertheless, you
Being funny.
persisted.
You're really wonderful. I really, really am so I'm so grateful. And
You
so I
guys
feel so
actually
lucky I got to
so-
see you again in
so
this way.
cool. Yeah,
No.
this is super fun.
You're the
Thank you
best.
so much, Jenny.
Okay.
Okay, Jenny Rossman is so cool.
She's so cool. I know. I have a crush on her.
Yes. Yes. I have a crush on her too. We all have crushes on her. There's so many thoughts, but I think one thing that I felt less nervous, anxious, afraid by just being around her. It's so
presence.
cool to be, and I think it's something that happens when you are someone who is sort of existing and you're in the zone, in your state of flow, like you're kind of, there's a way that Jason gets into this phase too, where like that person is unafraid because they feel fully competent and capable of like navigating any hard thing that comes at them, which allows them to not feel afraid. And that energy, because she could show up and be super serious.
Yeah.
And she takes the work seriously, but she also has perspective on life. Yes.
Yeah.
So being around her, and it's funny seeing her now. I had not seen her really since kind of like our high school era. I don't want to use that term,
Wow.
but it's really cool to see that energy in a nice way. She's the same.
The same. Yeah.
She's youthful.
She seems so
and-
authentic and just
Yes.
Jenny.
Yes.
Like she has and always will be that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Jenny from the block.
Just Jenny from Newton.
Yeah. I identify too with we both grew up in Newton, which is a place that has high expectations of people that you don't really realize. They're just sort of assumed standards as opposed to like, wouldn't it be amazing if you achieved X?
Yeah.
And a kind of thing you don't realize until you're out of it. And I think maybe I identify a little bit with her. The way that she kind of navigates it is do your best, but also like rely on a sense of humor. And yet also that anxiety and expectation like just is there.
Yeah.
And it will always be there. And maybe finding a way to not fight it. And I'm glad, I think maybe this is where I'm envious, but maybe this podcast will help get there. But I feel like she's found a place where she can apply that in a professional setting in the world in a way that she feels good at, capable at, and feels useful.
Yeah.
And I think otherwise, if you're a type A achiever and you haven't figured out like essentially like which class to take and so therefore which paper you want to ace, like
Right.
then you have all of this sort of like kinetic energy of I don't know, unsureness is not the right word, but my brain is not entirely on. But yeah, I also loved the role that her dad played in her life. I didn't
Yes.
really realize this, but such a fun mentor who I'm
I
sure
know. It's
like
like
the quirky advice.
the unseriousness, but also serious. Like it sounds fake, but then you're like, well, I guess that's true. I guess that's right. I'm not going to
and
jail.
what I love is
I
that
will
they
come
call
home.
each other and they could say that to each other, which just implies like a level of intimacy
Comfort
and comfort.
yes. Trust.
Yeah.
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 Ugh.
I was also really surprised that the work in the sort of sex crimes unit around kids in particular, like that I don't know, was
It's
a very
just what
matter
she
of fact
fell
thing.
into. I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And the fact that it's like I love that she went from painting houses to like, I guess I'll go to like law school because that feels good. And then to choose such an extreme with such like, I don't know. Yeah, I said this before, but just like such extreme consequences and like real ramifications. I don't know. I thought it was so interesting that you really can go like one of two ways once you've like transitioned into motherhood, and you could like in her sphere and work space, like I feel like it would have been so easy to be like, this is way too close to home, like I'm not going to be able to function as a parent and also see these kids who are struggling and suffering and like advocate for them without getting emotional. And the fact that she's able to compartmentalize, like she mentioned that a few times, I'm like, damn girl, show me how.
Totally.
That's incredible. Like she really
Yes. Yeah. And it was interesting that she compared that to sort of an athlete's mentality, which that is my approach where
helpful.
I have
and
even to the point where when Jason, if he texts or calls during the workday, I'm like, I'm not as responsive as I should be because I'm like, this is my work mode. Like I'm in my box, like, and otherwise I can't be effective. Which is very much like I'm playing a game. Like we are competing right now. I don't have time to like say hi.
No time to talk. I gotta go. I'm running.
One other thing I wanted to emphasize from the convo too was the sidebar about not only Karen Reed, but mom guilt. And potentially there's reframe of it's not guilt. You're just sad that you can't have something.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the anxiety versus nervousness versus excitement of like, there are these emotions that are chemically experienced in a similar way, but we put a label on them that may not serve us. That sounds so woo-woo. It doesn't serve me.
No, it's true. It's not productive. And there's nothing like actionable to do about that. Because what are you going to do? You're only going to feel worse about it. If your mom guilt can't be home, then you just feel shitty. But if it's, oh, I really am sad because I wish I could be home with my kid right now.
Yes.
And I'm also very important and I'm needed here at work. It's just like
totally.
Yeah. I don't know.
And also
it's more
again,
productive.
like the power of finding work that fills you up and that you feel good about doing.
Yes.
That feels useful, feels productive to you, society, family. Like
that you can have.
Again, that seems like such a key unlock for being a happy, fulfilled, professional, quote, working mother, you know?
So just got to find that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so listeners, we got to make money on this pod and this brand because I do think this is useful and productive and I enjoy the area and the space and I like what we're doing. And we got to build out the business side. We're going to get our sponsors. We're have an early one. So yes, it's just early stages. We're just setting up our law firm over here, the sex crimes unit.
The Karen Reed.
Okay. Moments of joys.
I was thinking about that. Mine is.
You have one?
I do, but it's silly because I was thinking about it this morning. And I was like, oh, my moment or my joy this week is that I got to spend my first Mother's Day with you. But then I was like, I think we talked for 5 seconds because we were both just so like.
But you wrote me the nicest
It was special
card.
that we were together.
And you brought
and I
flowers.
love you. Yeah.
I love you too.
I love you. I thought that was really cool.
Such a moment of joy and so grateful that you like this is what you moved back east
I do.
to be around.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad. Yes.
So fun.
Well, now I feel like an asshole because my joy wasn't that, but
No, you're fine. You're fine. Listen,
That was also
week
my moment of
besides
joy.
that has been a little. So
okay,
you're
so
not that
if
special.
my joy can't be that joy,
Yeah.
my joyfulness is okay. It's beautiful and sunny and not windy and not raining outside.
Yes.
Finally,
Yes.
I'm gonna go for a walk, not a run.
Yes.
Around the little lake that's near us. Not even a lake; it's a pond.
Crystal Lake?
No,
Oh.
I don't even. Below's Pond. And I'm going to take some advice, which was like, I always feel like when I go for a run, I got to sprint at the end, finish the race. Don't cut corners. Today, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break and I'm just going to walk. Not even with a vest on, which I don't even own a vest, but like one of those weighted vests. That's like very trendy right now.
Ew.
Okay, that's my joy. I'm going to walk, not run. And I might just walk slowly.
I love this for you. Yes, Sarah. Get it, girl.
Okay, cool.
You
Let's
could
all
even, if
underachieve together.
if you really wanted to, like, you could bring like a fresco with you
Ooh,
on your walk.
a traveling
Wow.
fresca.
I'm just saying.
Yes, I could. That would really up level it. Totally. People would be jealous. Okay, V.
Love you.
You're a badass motherfucker.
Okay,
Can I say
swearing.
that? I don't know.
Yes. Motherfucker.
I'll just cut it. It's totally fine. All right. Enjoy your joyfulness. I love you so
Love
much.
you.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode and we can reach even more rock stars like you. The Mothers is a production of Backline Media, shining a light on those who carry the team.